Hello. So today we're going to build a very simple page builder using ACF, and it's great for building really simple sites. Clients love this sort of thing because they can't break it. Clients can break a Divi site, they can break an Elementor site, they can't break this. So it's foolproof. Clients like it. It's really simple. They don't really even have to learn it. They just need to know how to enter content. So let's go through. I'll just show you a sample of it. This is a demo of what we're building. So this is a normal WordPress page, and so what we're building is this part here. What we've got here is this. So if I just go add block to page, then I can add a content with image block. So we created this block, and this block has all the fields in it that we want it to have. So according to the design of this content with image block, it has a title. So we created a title field. This is all theoretical, by the way. It's all just a demo. And then some text. So and then an image, so that's the content with image block. And now, so say for instance we need some cards, like blog cards, or sort of like this. Like if we need something like that, we can build that with ACF, and we did, and we called it cards. So, and this is what it comes out like. So if we go add card, then we can enter the title of the card, etc., and just fill it out, and then add another card. And if we only want two, then we'll just have two. And the other block we created was a spacer block. It's a really simple block, just to put some space between the two blocks here. So, which we can also duplicate and add down here. So that's what we built in this tutorial. Okay, I trust you like what you see. Now I'm going to show you how to build it. I'm not going to show you any HTML or CSS. This is really just the mechanics involved in getting the ACF page builder functionality working in your theme. So I'm using starter theme. I'm using _s starter theme here, and one of the key functions you want to have in your theme is this, which I'll put in the comments below, in the description below. So this function here displays your blocks, your custom blocks, whatever blocks you want to create, and outputs it to the page. So the other part to this function is that you need to output. You need to run this function, because it's not going to run just sitting in the functions file. You need to add it to, so usually like the page template is a good place to add it. And if you take a look at your page template, you might be using a structure like this where you're getting a get template part. So we actually want to add this function to content-page, which I have open here already. So content-page is going to output the function for us. Now the next part is to actually jump into the ACF admin area. And what have we got here? Alright, so I've got, we'll just delete that. I've got something here called global. This is where all my global ACF functions go, fields go. We're not going to be using that. We're going to be creating a new one. We can call it anything we like. Call it page builder. And we set the placement of it. So the post type of it is going to be pages, because it's a page builder. So we're going to put it on our pages. And the next field we're going to add is going to be a flexible content. We're going to call it blocks. It could be called anything you like. The important part is that it's a flexible content. Now it gives us this thing here called layouts. Now this is where we actually add our blocks. So our first block that we're going to create is, for this tutorial, is going to be called content with image. Now you will notice, you may have noticed that we're outputting this blocks array down here in the get template part, so which is also using this get row layout, and the get row layout function from ACF returns the current row layout name. So the row layout name needs to be content with image, content with image, content with image. So the name needs to match. That's the point I'm trying to make, is it needs to match your block.php file, because that's what's going to get output here. Okay, so content with image with the underscores is the way to go. Alright, now we can start adding some fields to our content with image block. So let's say we'll have a title, and the field type for this is going to be text, and we're going to have some text, and the field type for this is going to be text, and then we're going to have an image. And the field type for this is going to be image. Cool. I'll just save that. Okay, so now we've built our fields, and if we go to the page, any page on our website, so I've just gone to the About Us page. If I refresh this, okay, so here we have our page builder, we have our blocks, we have add row, which I should change to say add block, and we have our block of content with image, and here's all our fields that we added. Now let's add some text. So we'll call this the title field, the text field, and for an image we're going to use our starter theme logo. Update that, and now let's view. Now we don't get any output because we haven't told our we haven't built our content with image block file yet. So this get template part is just failing. So let's build that part. Template parts, blocks, content with image. Well, it's actually not failing because I do have the file here. It's just probably not outputting anything because it's empty. So let's just do a test, and so let's see if that works. It did not work. That's interesting. It should content block content with image. I noticed that the functions file doesn't look like it's been saved. So, whoops. So let's go back there and make sure this is saved properly. And now let's try that. Okay, we got hello. Okay, let's now getting to the fun part here, and one of the inspiration for this video is Okay, so we've got blocks, and we've built this block here with all the fields. Now we need to output these fields in ACF code. So how do we get the ACF code for these fields? Well, we can go to the documentation and we can output each field one by one, or we can automate the process by installing another plugin called ACF Code Pro by Hookturn. And I'll put a link to those guys, that plugin, in the description. So here's the fields. This plugin gives us the fields, the ACF code, generates it for us, which is great. So now we've already really got this part. We're already, sorting through the blocks, and now we just need this part here to add to our block file. Because our function, our ACF display page builder blocks function is doing the rest of it for us. It's choosing the block. It's outputting the correct block for us. So we just need to add in the ACF field code here, and that will start outputting stuff to the page for sure. There we go. So that looks terrible because there is no HTML markup here and there is no CSS markup for this. So our layout is absolutely horrible. Absolutely. I can't even think of the word. Okay. It's so poor, it's not even worth naming this layout. Okay, so let's build some more blocks. What else do we have? So a spacer block. So a spacer block's nice to have to get some spacing in between your blocks. A lot of page builders come with a spacer block. Even Gutenberg comes with a spacer block, and before I was dead against spacer blocks, but it starts to become really difficult to get the correct spacing between blocks when you're building the space into the block itself. And then that started me thinking, well, does space actually even belong in the block? I mean, it's just space, right? It's empty space. Why, So it's questionable whether you'd build it into the block permanently. All right, so a spacer block. Let's build the spacer block. So I've actually already built the spacer block because it was pretty uneventful to build. So I'll just take you through what needs to happen. So you've got basically a bit of HTML in the spacer block, in the block part. So the file for this is actually this one right here in your template parts. Yeah, so it's just a little bit of and you can be a bit more clever with this and rather put like a class on it instead of hard coding a style directly in there. So the other part to that is obviously in the admin. We need to create the spacer block. So, and it's important here that we know that we actually add a new block from this add new layout part here. Now this sort of looks like it's going to add something to this part, or but it's actually not. It's going to create a new block for us. So we'll call this one spacer, and the name has to be exactly the same as what we called it in our function. And here, I think it might work if you. It might still work if you don't output any fields. Otherwise, we'll need to pop in some sort of message field or something like that. So we'll go. I'll close that one up. Add spacer. Okay, so it's still working even though we haven't actually added any fields to the spacer. So that's good, but otherwise it's good option to just add a little message in here. And just tell the administrator that a space will appear. Okay, cool. All right, so the message isn't going to appear on the front end. It's just going to appear in the admin. And the reason why it actually says spacer on the front end is just so we can see it. So I can delete that now. And that'll be done. Now, one of the cool features about this ACF page builder is we can duplicate blocks and drag them. So now I can organize my spaces a bit better around the content with image block. Update that. Okay, so this is the part. This is our block here with a space above and a space below. Okay, now next block we're going to build is going to be the cards block, and I'll give you a look at what we would be looking to build here. So we'd be looking to build something like this, and maybe we'd use a repeater function. So maybe like sometimes we could have 2 cards, and sometimes we could have 3 cards, or 4 cards. So to build a repeater into the block system, let's go add new layout, and we'll call this cards, and we'll go add new and call it cards. We'll call it card, actually, card, and then call it repeater. Make it the repeater field. And then within the repeater field, this is where you want to add stuff like, excuse me, stuff like your little title, your text, and some sort of link that wraps the whole card, and then maybe something for the icon here as well. So what we need here is title, text, page link, so it's going to be like link, and that's going to be a page link. So that's going to link to any page. That's going to give you all the links to any pages on your site that you can easily link to. And then page link, and then we want our icon, which is going to be an image, and that's all cool. I think that's all. So we'll save that, and hopefully that'll give us the correct structure in the back end of the pages. Now, did I enable the block? Functions, and we got to just make sure that we're loading in the block, or adding the blocks to the array, adding the card block to the array. And I assume I've already built the block cards file here in our template parts. It's just empty, so let's go grab that code and put it in from our ACF. Alright, so what have we got here? Get row layout, cards, and then so what you want is everything below the get row layout. That should do. Paste that in. So or at least our content will be output. It'll look pretty dismal, but it will get output. Okay, all right. Now that's an old one. All right. Okay. Okay. So cards. Good. Good. Okay, and this is our repeater here. And once again, we can change these buttons to say whatever we want, and that's it's good UI to change these buttons to be more specific. So it should say add card in this case. Okay, so let's just type in some, random stuff. Card title. Text. And then here's the link, the page link. All right, so it does show posts as well in there, and also archives, which is cool. So let's link to the thank you page. Throw in our icon, which we're just going to use this for now. And don't think there's a way to duplicate this, which is a shame. So let's just add 2. Keep things moving. And let's see how this looks. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, so we've got 2 cards with a bit of styling, with a bit of CSS. These cards, would look exactly like this. Okay, now let's go through just changing these labels, these button labels here, to be add. This should say probably add block to page, and this one here should say add card. So back to our markups here. So what have we got here? Alright, so add row, so that should say add block to page. And you can also set minimum layouts and stuff like that. Okay, that's add block to page, and so this one here, the cards is the one we want to change. Okay, so add card. Okay, let's take a look now. Okay, yep, add card, add block to page. And they can all be closed up and for a nice, neat view. So that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions about the ACF page builder.